That brings us to Sonic Ranch, one of the world's probably most unique residential studios, a working pecan farm, uh, kind of a magically isolated area with someone who has created a spot for artists of a certain kind. It doesn't, like, not a lot of artists are going to be, a certain kind of artist isn't going to be cool with dirt roads,
Mm-hmm.
but there are artists who will, and
Mm-hmm.
then they will be transformed into these magical environs that Tony has created
Mm-hmm.
with incredibly storied gear
Mm-hmm.
and um, tools that starts as a one studio and then has expanded now into, I mean, just like a technological masterpiece with
Mm-hmm.
Woodward. So, talk to me about that.
Well, I first came to Sonic Ranch when it was one little studio in the summer. It was June 11 of 2000. And it was after 10 years of being an Austin guy.
Okay.
So I felt like the millennium was turning, the decade was turning, that I was looking for something. I was looking for those dirt roads because I'd spent the decade on paved highways in a van. Um, and I was looking to get lost. And again, this leads back to the lost and found aspect of this stuff. And when you're looking for something, you have to get lost because it just puts your mind in that space. You have to tread water. You have to be out in the open, open water, to be visited by the sirens and to be visited, by the stars. So I came here looking to get lost, and I found my sound. I was alone, and I realized that my drummer and my bass player and all those guys were not with me, so no one was going to play the drums but me. No one was going to play the bass but me. Second guitar, synthesizers. So I started doing more of creating the music, handmade, hecho a mano, like real tortillas versus the store-bought one.
Yeah.
And so I found that idea and that ideal here at Sonic Ranch. And the adobe walls, I realized what it was. It was like under this beautiful veneer, this pleasant pearl white, is this mud that's put together and caked and stacked. And that was a beautiful metaphor for making music. And that led me to the realization that you don't book studio time because you have songs. You book studio time to write songs. And people would go, "That's a waste of money. Are you crazy?" Believe me, once you're put on that field, you're gonna run. So the thing about Sonic Ranch is it's 24/7. You check in here, and you can get into the studio at 8 in the morning if you want to. And from 8 until 10 in the morning, you can write a song in 2 hours. All you need is 3 minutes. So I would write a song, and then I'd record it, and then take a lunch break, and then write another song. Work from the ground up. But for the Lost and Found collection, at least half of the songs that make up these 12 albums were recorded here or conceived here. And so it's a huge part. Sonic Ranch is a huge part of Lost and Found.
Something that occurs to me is, in a look, when you talked to Jim Ward once about this place, you said that there is something about the alignment here
Mm-hmm.
of just people working, whether they're working in the kitchen here, working in the farm here, that there is like there's an ambiance of reverence to the work. I
Mm-hmm.
guess is what I kind of got. Do you
Mm-hmm.
do you feel that, like, that there's there's a peacefulness, but there is work to be made here,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be in art as well.
Mm-hmm. Here at the ranch is 3,000 acres of work and 3,000 acres of seeds and blooms and harvesting, and that's a beautiful metaphor for music. And I love that about here at Sonic Ranch. It's what happened when I brought Midland here,
Yeah.
and now Midland's one of the biggest country acts on the planet. And they started out as three guys they couldn't tie their shoe because they realized that they had boots on. And then I brought Fiona Apple here, and to be able to bring Fiona here and to win a Grammy for the production work that I did with Sebastian and Amy and Fiona, I mean, that was an enormous, enormous sense of pride that I got. But I had pride to bring them here. I stood by this place. You have to talk people to come in here. I had to talk Midland into coming here. I had to talk Fiona into coming here. You have to twist people's arms. Same thing with Fastball. Lucy Woodward, Susanna Schoffel. I've brought so many people here. But with Jim Ward, it was just like, where else are we going to go? This is the place. So I've always taken pride in the work that I do here at Sonic Ranch, and I'm so proud of the music on Lost and Found.
Yeah, because I think, listen, you're seen as an ambassador for this place, and it's an important place. And all studios, probably in this day and age of bedroom recordings, are you know becoming fewer and far between.
Yeah,
Sunset Sound just closed, I think.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So as an ambassador, you clearly have a personal connection, but it's also lives through your art. Like Sonic Ranch, like you said,
yeah,
half your albums, right?
yeah. If at least, so, and it's interesting, I came here in 2000, of summer 2000. That was 24 years ago. And there's certain pieces of debris that have been here for 24 years. I mean, I swear that abandoned satellite dish has been here for 24 years. There's certain paintings that have been in the closet for 24 years. So I love that. There's certain guitars that have been leaning against a wall, unplayed for 24 years. But I sometimes come back here I'm just amazed at the growth. And Tony Rancich, who's the owner and the artist in residence and truly here, always makes it a point to breathe new life into everything. Once he's finished with one studio, he'll go to another studio. He'll start break ground. There's songs on my Lost and Found collection that were the first songs recorded in that studio when the paint wasn't even dry. Like there's a song called Fire Breather on O'Dread that was the first song recorded in the Neve Room. There's a song called Bride Swoon that was the first song recorded in Adobe Studio. So I'm very, very proud of that. The Lucy Woodward album was, I believe, the first album made in Big Blue. So I always tell Tony, you got to wait for me before you break ground. I'm good luck.
Over there.
It's definitely some kind of indie rock album cover waiting to happen.